Yeah, Jeff, I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm going to have Stefan speak, and I want you to acknowledge that you can hear him speaking. Go ahead and say hi, Stefan.
Stefan, how you doing?
Romeo, where art thou?
How are you, brother?
Well, my friend, seriously, where art thou? Where are you?
Where art thou? He's right here,
where are
baby.
you?
Doing well.
No, I know you're in my ear on my phone, but like, where are you living these days? Are you in Colorado?
Still, we're not far away from. Jeff and I are not far away from each other.
Gotcha.
Yeah, looking forward to the blizzard that's coming in the morning or sometime tonight.
Oh, really? You guys are getting that kind of weather?
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting, certain part of Colorado, we're getting like 30 inches, 20 inches.
Oh, wow. I think we're 83. Yeah. Man, wow.
Must be nice.
Phew, wow. No, I actually would switch with you, man. I don't think I'm done with old man winter. Yeah. I like honestly though, it's good and bad. We do need the moisture here, so however we can get it, I'm fine with it. It's only for a couple of days anyways. It looks like it's going to be sunny sometime starting this weekend throughout next week. So it'll be good to have the moisture anyways. Are you a sit by the fireplace kind of guy, Romeo?
It depends on the setting. If I'm in the mountain, yeah. If I'm down here in Denver, no, not really. I'd rather go to the gym.
Oh, how's the jumper?
That's two different spectrums.
How's the jumper coming along? Yeah.
I'm sorry?
How's the jumper coming along?
Oh, it's always good, man. I've been doing a lot of calisthenic workouts. I think I lost about at least, I would say, 15 pounds, man. All the bad weights from the waist to the stomach is all completely gone. Been doing a lot of running again also too. So feeling great, man. I feel amazing, honestly, to be honest with you. Being in the technology now for quite some time, it's insane. It's insane how I feel, honestly.
Romeo, that's great. I would wonder where you 15 pounds, man. I mean, it seems like 15 pounds. Yeah, you don't need to lose 15 pounds, right?
You know what, man? It's crazy. You can ask Jeff. Like, man, Jeff and I, we're as you know, we're so big in sport. There was some pictures that Jeff and I that was taken. I'm like, oh my God, Jeff, we gotta do something. We cannot look like this. So I've been doing so much workout stuff, and it's just been nuts. And you know what, though, I feel great, man. I feel like in my 20s, honestly. Especially after the super immunity. Oh my God, the difference on my stamina and how I am in the gym, like literally, the calisthenic workout that I do. I keep telling Jeff, I said, Jeff, I don't know how I'm doing this kind of stuff at being 43, being out of shape, and now I'm literally like playing basketball with 20 years old in their 20s, early 30s. I'm probably the fastest guy in the court, honestly.
Man, Romeo, that doesn't surprise me, but man, that is cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah, so I feel great, How about you, man? How are you doing? How about you? How are you?
Thank you. I'm okay, man. I'm not doing bad. I had a rough start to the new year with a couple of herniated discs in my lumbar that kind of had me sidelined for a moment. Yeah, it was quite painful, but I'm blessed to know some, great guys. In my former life, I was an owner of a manual therapy, physical therapy, sports therapy kind of company, and so I know some really great folks that gave me some really good exercises and things like that to kind of accelerate the recovery. But it was not fun. Had to kind of grin and bear it through a lot of work deals and travel and stuff like that. But, man, other than that, hey, no complaints, bro. Just being realistic.
That's great. Good to hear.
But I'm sure Jeff has kept you posted on what's going on.
He always does. It's definitely very exciting moments, especially what we're gonna discuss tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing more about the structure and how this thing is gonna work. Hopefully, it's gonna benefit. Well, it's going to benefit everybody. Obviously, it's just a matter of you know, people taking it seriously and taking advantage of the opportunities, you know. So
yeah, I agree with
that's
you,
just
buddy.
how it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree with you, Romeo. I told Jeff I feel compelled to give it a go. You know, Costy's given me this opportunity to kind of have this stuff, you know, on the cheap and profit from it and put together a business model, stuff like that. And so Jeff was the first call I made, man. I was just like, man, I would rather give it a shot with you and feel like, you know, I could tell Costy, hey, look, you know, we pitched it and this is how it went. And that's how low my bar is, you know, Romeo, because my focus is on what you know about the Filipino project and stuff. Like, I really don't care about this stuff, to be quite honest with you. But I'm glad people can get access to it. And I want folks to you know, have the same opportunities I have, you know, to enjoy this stuff. I've already been on a bottle and a half of it so far. But like you, I've been on a steady diet of this stuff for so long, it's really kind of hard for me to, you know. Oh, we're ready? Okay, sorry.
Yep. Hey, guys, we are ready to get started. So as you guys could hear, there is some really large things that are actually happening with this technology because it has been fully documented what this does. And so with that conversation that you just heard right there, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to mute everybody out so there's no background noise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to announce the Age Reversal program, and then I will bring Stefan on, and we will go through exactly what this is, why it works, what we're able to get it for, which is extremely exciting because it just was not attainable for almost everybody that's in our circles, and how this can impact your life moving forward. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody out, and then we'll get started.
Muted. The recording has started.
Hey guys, you all know me. My name is Jeff Ackerman. I just wanted to say that this is our first ever Age Reversal technology launch that is now available to the public for a very unique situation. For those of you that got the email and may have already known, there was just an X Prize that was announced by some billionaires, and actually one of the Saudi princes has joined it as well. He was given over $1 billion to invest in age reversal technology, hoping that in the next 10 years they could find some entity that could bring this to the market. I'm very excited to say that they don't have to look very far, and soon the world will know. But because of that, it's created an opportunity for us to get this to the public at an affordable price. And it will be public knowledge because of the X Prize and everything that they're doing. For those of you who don't know the background on that, one of the CEOs is the CEO founder of Lululemon. He's actually founded multiple companies. He has a disease called FSHD. It's where the muscles start to deteriorate. It's a form of muscular dystrophy. And so he's offered $101 million to anyone that can solve his issue, and they want to see somebody that can reverse age by 10 years. So we submitted to the prize, and we were accepted. And now we get to do a call on it and bring it to the public because we're really looking for people that want to be able to give their testimonies. And so I'm going to go ahead and introduce the person that we have on the call tonight so that we can start going through it. But I just want to say that, you know, I've had the pleasure of working with the technology for 8 years. It saved Romeo's life. You guys heard Romeo speaking on there. He had a liver issue where he probably would not be around today, actually. He's been on the technology for about 8 years now, and it was a very extreme situation. So thank God we got involved in this when we did and learned about how the body can do these kinds of things. And I was introduced to a man named Stefan Roberts. Stefan has been working with the organization for 20 years. He'll go into his background, but he really took me under his wing. He saw that I had a heart to help people, much like himself, and he has mentored me to really help me understand how the body works and why the technology works, how it works with the body, how the body utilizes it to do the things that we only dreamed of doing. You know, I have a background from working with naturopathic doctors, always looking at the latest and the greatest remedy type situation, but those things don't even compare to what the body can do. So when I was introduced to this 8 years ago, it really opened my eyes, and it's just been amazing to have such an incredible person like Stefan to really take me under his wing and make sure that I was guided correctly to bring this to the public. And so with that, I'd like to bring Stefan Roberts on, and I'm going to basically interview him. So go ahead and say hi, Stefan.
Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Great, great. Glad that you could be on the call. And I do appreciate everybody taking time out of their busy lives to be on this call. And so we will get started right away. So the first thing that I think is very important with the technology is, Stefan, can you give us a history of where this came from, what we have here?
Yeah, it's it's a fascinating backstory, but basically the folks that are behind this technology, they have background in biochemistry, biophysics, quantum physics. They'll tell you they're like data entry people, advanced mathematics, and they came from Europe, Eastern Europe, Romania. They had already documented numerous cases and had software they had developed, and they moved to the United States because this is the best intellectual property protection in the world. And here they started treating cases. The backstory of how they were treating folks before is high-end resorts and spas in Europe, specifically Switzerland and Romania. And then now here in the U.S., we have our headquarters is Horseshoe Bay, Texas. And so VIPs, royal families, folks from like Arab countries and things like this, princes and stuff, have come to us for years. We take all their data, their blood work, urine tests, and it's all put into the software that was developed in 1973. So there's no human mind that's actually treating you or diagnosing you. We understand folks find cures, kind of the sexy subject, but for us it's the diagnosis. It's 100% accurate and complete diagnostics that happens with the software. And so we've been treating, the most incurable diseases for many, many, many years. And so the database is vast, hundreds of thousands of cases of any condition you can name. No failures, zero failures. And the holy grail of it the whole time was basically stem cells, optimizing stem cells, reverse aging, anti-aging. But it was never anything that they ever planned to come public with. It happened through the inertia of the system of governments investigating our technology, and several of them have already given us FDA approval, and there's a lot of kind of behind-the-scenes sausage making happening right now where we're about to scientifically publish and kind of come out of the shadows, if you will, with very specific technologies. And if you go to our website, TrueScienceAlliance.org, it's a 501c3 nonprofit. You read the homepage, you'll see we've been celebrating, the website's 15 years old now, so it'll say 7-year anniversary of, cured TB. And we just say it right on the website. Well, that's like 20 plus years old now. So TB for us is nothing. And you imagine being a government in Asia where TB is debilitating people and crushing their economy. We've solved pandemics. And when governments and scientific minds start to investigate our technologies, they start to realize that, they ask smart questions. Well, if you can do this, then you can do this. Correct. And so they ask, and we give them samples, and they can continue to validate our technology. So Jeff, sorry to give you kind of a long-winded answer there, but it's a little difficult to share the history with folks and how we kind of got here without kind of putting it all in the blender. So the reason it's even available to us right now is because they already have documented thousands and thousands of, elongating telomeres, which are in your chromosomes, and, we start with them long in our life, and as we get older, they get shorter. And we have already, thousands and thousands of documented cases, third-party labs that demonstrate that we're actually growing the telomere. We're elongating the telomere. We're adding life to we're putting time on the clock. But now, like Jeff led with, we have hosted these folks that are behind this $101 million prize, and there's a lot of folks that are behind that, big backers and things, that were shocked by what we had. They were looking basically to see if there was a way to cellularly reverse 12 months, like a calendar year. And, we have cases of 35 years, and those cases had cancer before that. So we fixed the cancer, reversed the cancer, cured the cancer, and then took 35 years cellularly off their life. And these cases are documented. We have folks on video. We have life insurance policies. We have everything anyone would ever want to validate this. And so by demand in the inner circle of our organization, our professionals, our network of professionals that do peer reviews for us, their families, folks like me that work for the nonprofit and my family, we all love access to this. And we've never been given access to this whole body anti-aging. It's always just been in concept form, and if you had a lot of money, then you could get this technology. But other than that, they don't want to talk to you about it. And so it's never been anything that I've known to be available. And like Jeff said, I've been around this for a while. And so now they've allowed it to be available in a condensed form of the customized stuff, so that basically all warm-blooded creatures behave the same. So we can all now have this cellular reversal technology, and they don't really need your software data. They don't need your blood and urine. They don't really need to know your medical condition. They will tell you this. This is a generalized anti-aging to where if you're on a steady diet of Mountain Dew and Cheetos, and you're old and you're overweight and you just haven't taken care of yourself, you may have pre-existing conditions to where your results won't be as great as somebody that has been living a little bit more of a clean lifestyle. So I just want everybody to kind of understand a general idea of why we're even on this call. The folks that I represent are in the process of scientifically publishing very specific technologies that we have, and we're more interested in global pandemics, AMR, antimicrobial resistance, the superbug crisis, the antibiotic crisis. The United States government has already drafted legislation, the Pasteur Act, and there's $6 billion of free money there for anybody that can solve this problem. That money belongs to us. The fungal infection crisis, TB. These things are global. Malaria. They're global pandemics, and they're spreading. COVID, obviously, viral infections. This is what we're interested in. Just in the process of us coming to market in the way that we are, and there's really not much more I can say about that. It's, obviously pretty confidential stuff, but I can tell you guys we're coming to your internet and TV very soon in another part of the world. The United States will catch on eventually. But we manufacture here because of the perks. And so within this whole study and processing of everything that governments and large organizations are investigating with our technologies, you can't copy it, you can't reverse engineer it. It's impossible to do. We realize when we give governments and Fortune 100 companies our samples, we understand it's just as part of the deal that they're going to try to steal it. But they can't. And when they can't, they come back to us and they know, if you can't beat them, you join them, so to speak. And so through that process, they realized what we can do with stem cells. So I'll give it back over to you, Jeff. I know that's a horribly long explanation, but we can pick up from there. But within that
absolutely.
stem cell domain, there is a specific technology that we have access to.
Yeah, very, very fascinating. Real briefly, can you touch on your history with the team? Like, how did you become associated with it? And what is your role? Like, why are you authorized to be able to do these, bring these things to the market with me?
I mean, God's grace, short answer. But I got to be involved with the organization, and 20 years ago, I owned a medical company, and I found out about a gentleman, one of the representatives of the science team was living in a community near mine, and I knew people that knew him, and there were these cases that were being solved in like local medical practices that were unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was hearing and seeing, and quick too. I mean, like 2 weeks, 1 month, and these people were like better. I remember this one kid that was an athlete that used to frequent our clinic quite a bit, and he had Crohn's disease, and then he didn't. And I couldn't believe it. He was an MMA fighter, and I liked him a lot. He was really sharp, really respectful kid, and great family. So I eventually cultivated a relationship with this gentleman, and I sold everything I had, man, and I wanted to just be around him all the time and understand this, and I just committed my life to it. And next thing you know, I was absorbed basically by the organization, and my code name within the organization is the Grim Reaper. I run errands for our organization all around the world, and I drop off, basically it's a zip drive, it looks like a key, and it has our logo on there, and I drop it off at government buildings around the world, and it's basically a detonated bomb. You now know what we have, and you can't claim that there's not a dead body in your house. So we have systematically penetrated the system with our data and our results. So I've been playing that role for a long time. And then I moved a little bit more into overseeing customized software cases. Folks that pay a lot of money, 6 figures for, cancer and, customized anti-aging. And I facilitate the data processing with our science team and our software team in Europe. I push everything over, and then I'm the point of contact for these families, so that they have somebody to talk to about the process. How do we take this? What can we expect? 4 days into it, why am I getting sicker? I'm that person. And so I've been doing that now for about 13 years. So yeah, it's been a blessing, and I've learned a lot, obviously, and it is a little bit of a burden of truth, because you don't want to get on the internet, you certainly don't. I don't really try to engage much with people, Jeff, just because everyone's sick and they know somebody's sick, and we can fix them, but we don't need your case, we don't need your money, we don't need the data, and so we're ready to do something very different, very grandiose, and so I try to keep a low profile about it, but the president of our organization and the people I work for have allowed me the opportunity to present this to a small network of folks. We don't have a large production for this yet, but we're working on it, and the larger our mass production grows with it, the cheaper it's going to be. So, they do what they can to keep costs low, but considering what they're doing and the articles that everybody has seen, like, man, 1 year, 30 trillion, Jeff, and we're over here doing reversals of 20 plus years, like every day, and it's documented. Like, these are third-party labs that have these results, not us, and we can show you, like, someone's 56 but cellularly 32, and we have just tons of these results. And so it's been done kind of hidden, and this is the first time that I could ever recall, being, I'm honored to be able to introduce this to a group of people that I don't even know. So anyway, that's me. That's how I'm involved with this. That's what I kind of do on the day-to-day, and the stuff I see is miracles. I live in the world of miracles. I don't live in the world of COVID lockdowns. I don't live in the world of pharmaceutical commercials. I live in a very different world where people are constantly getting well. And I got to tell you, most importantly, Jeff, they're being properly diagnosed. That's the big problem. The problem is no one knows how to diagnose anybody. I mean, they're just throwing the kitchen sink at folks. And so when you know how to be a sniper with someone's condition, then addressing their stem cells and de-aging them, it kind of takes a logical path.
Absolutely. Great. Yeah. And, Stefan, just real quick, touch on the diagnosis when people go to doctors versus that have a terminal condition versus us, and you don't have to be specific with the labs, but just explain, what we ask the client, about how their diagnosis has been with the doctors. Just briefly talk about that.
Yeah, in short, basically all diagnosis from the establishment is either incomplete or it's inaccurate. And we just don't accept, when someone says like, oh, my mom has Lyme's disease. Okay, says who, and we're the people that says who. And once we collect, and folks have never even been tested with the stuff. Like we run into this, and this is probably the best way to put it, Jeff, to turn the page on the next subject, but CRP, blood marker CRP, C-reactive protein, it's the inflammation marker. I can't tell you how many cancer cases we facilitate where people have come to us, and unfortunately they've already been radiated or chemoed, as if they have cancer. And I ask one simple question in the data gathering process, and we have all this stuff that we collect. But just in the initial conversation with the family, have you ever been tested? Have you ever taken the CRP blood marker test? They've never heard of it. Well, the AMA journal says that cancer is predicated on inflammation. So how is it that you have oncologists diagnosed this person with cancer and never checked for the primary blood marker? This is riddles for us. Like, we don't understand. So we completely diagnose, and we accurately diagnose. And if you can do that, prevent it, cure it, it's quite easy.
Awesome. Great job. Now I want you to go into superimmunity. Superimmunity was recently brought to the market. Can you explain what an impact and what superimmunity really means?
Yeah. So GASIN is what we have it as coded, is gain superimmunity now. We have a lot of like inside, one might say jokes. And what it basically does, Jeff, is these, okay, I should probably say it this way. If we would all probably agree that a green tea leaf or green tea is good for you. The question we have is, what part of the green tea leaf and how much of it does your body require? So these are partial extracts. This is how we're different from like supplement world. Supplements are just supplementing nutrition. We're not doing that. You don't need 1,200 milligrams of vitamin B in your system. You just don't. In fact, it causes toxicity to your liver. You can't even metabolize that concentrated dosage of what most people would say is healthy, let alone a vaccine, right? A single simple molecule that is a synthetic, the liver can't even metabolize. So what happens is folks got the vaccine and it damaged the immune system and it damaged the DNA of the human. You'll never be the same. It permanently damaged you. And so our technology is designed to block the spike protein, and it eliminates the inflammation caused by the synthetic drugs, the vaccine, also in food and environment. And then the components and the compositions, and that's what's unique, is it's not just the partial extract part of it, it's the combinations with other partial extracts. And so Mother Nature gives us about 10,000 molecules. Well, how do you know which one you require in real time? Like if a snake bites you, you need the antidote in real time at the right dosage at the right place. So what happened when everyone got vaccinated? Their immune system got depressed. The spike protein came into scene, and basically you caused advanced cancer in people. And so our technology is increasing the production of the B and T cells, optimized like special forces to go out and gobble up everything that's bad and dispense of it your body very quickly.
Wow, that's powerful. Now can you talk a little bit about the spike protein and why that's important? So for people that are vaccinated, it's essential that they use the super immunity. Tell us a little bit about the spike protein and what's going on.
Yeah,
and how it works.
It's not the spike protein that's increasing, it's the antibodies that are increasing. And so the immune system doesn't detect the virus. It detects the infected cells. I'll say that again. The immune system doesn't detect the virus. It detects the infected cells. And if you don't know that, you can't repair this. It's foundation of a home that's cracked. And you're trying to, keep the picture straight on your wall. Okay, so the viruses, Jeff, they're so small, and they're mixed with bodily fluids. And they're not detected until the virus invades the cell. And that's what makes the cell larger. And it produces more infected cells. And I don't want to talk too wonky scientific here, but I want people who are listening to understand, if you're a doctor, if you're a scientist, if you're advanced education, you should understand this. This is important. You're dealing with human life. And they shut down people's pizzerias for this. They destroyed families for this. So our organization is being very methodical and surgical about how you come to market when collateral damages are to this degree. No one told you this. That you can't Google this. And so our organization has the burden of striking strategic partnerships with large entities and governments to form an alliance to where we can come out and let people know the truth about what the vaccines did to you, that there's a solution for it, and that all COVID and strands of COVID and all mutating viruses are easily solved by a strong immune system. I mean, people can marvel at our technology all the time. We'll always point to the designer. I mean, wow. An immune system, a heart that beats on its own, lungs that breathe on their own, high-definition cameras in your head called eyeballs. Like, we are sophisticated machinery to try to pump a synthetic poison into everybody and say you're good on a virus that mutates. And by the time you get out of bed, put your shoes on, and go and get your vaccine, it's already mutated 10,000 times into your system. So what exactly are you getting pumped into your arm, Jeff? And so it's causing these problems. And basically, man, it in the end, and I'll leave it here, Jeff. In the end, it's a cancer causer, is what they did. They injected people with cancer.
Wow, horrible. On that note, Stephan, take us through the process. When this goes into your body, lead us through the process with the functions, the added functions of what's actually happening and how you get to that point of longer telomeres. Can you touch on that?
Yeah. Wow. So essentially, everybody, most people probably understand the majority of your white blood cells hang out in your digestive tract. So it's very important that the acid in your stomach is perfect. The alkalinity of the liver and the pancreatic enzymes purify the blood. So you have to have clean pipes, like vessels, capillaries, no traffic jams, and fresh blood. So you have to have optimized liver function, kidney function, for this to be even theoretically possible. Any scientific, mind would tell you that. Like, in theory, what you're saying is true. Yeah, well, we have so much data that we're not dealing in theory. We're dealing in marketplace now. You neutralize and remove food, environmental toxins, heavy metals from the body, dilate the vessels and pores, promote and increase oxygen, allow the white blood cells, the lymphocytes, the neutrophils, allow them to get to the scene of the crime, take out what's unnecessary and dispose of it quickly. The natural process of the body. You need oxygen. You need to have a clean slate for this to be achieved. So injecting poisons, taking synthetic drugs, these things poison the body. Folks say, well, I felt better immediately. Well, you can't trick the body for very long. So what you did was you basically triggered the bone marrow, triggered where the white blood cells are stored, more white blood cells out to the scene of the crime. Well, guess what the crime is? The crime is not the actual virus you're dealing with, for example. It's the drug you took to try to fix the symptoms of the virus. It's attacking that. And when it gets out there, it attacks it, but it can't get back. And here comes the inflammation, and here comes a series of other problems. But people will tell you initially, that drug made me feel better. Well, I'm sure it made you feel better. A lot of drugs make people feel better. That's why they do them. And so the point is, we're addressing, Jeff, the fundamentals of the functions of the body, optimizing organ function, cleaning the pipes, freshening the blood. Anyone will tell you if that is achieved, then optimal health follows.
That's awesome, Stephan. That's powerful. And just real quick, tell us a little bit about the function of the liver. Why the liver is such an essential part of the entire body?
Well, if you were to, for example, cut your liver 1 millimeter thick, it would cover an entire NFL football field. That's how dense our livers are. So it filtrates everything you touch, everything you breathe, everything you taste goes through the liver. The liver has to deal with so much. And then people come along and, of course, they drink or they smoke or they do synthetic simple molecules. The liver can't metabolize it. So it requires everything else to go on red alert to address the foreign substance that's in your body. And this is why we have an antibiotic crisis, which we're about to address. And this is why we have antimicrobial resistance. And there was a study done, Prime Minister David Cameron in 2014 sent Lord Jim O'Neill, who was one of the top financial CFO guys of Goldman Sachs, to do a global study of what it would cost to solve antimicrobial resistance. He came back after 1 year. The price tag is $100 trillion. The total collective 201 UN member nations values is about 80 trillion. We're 20 trillion short of solving this problem financially, and the whole system is parked in a ditch because guess what caused the superbugs? Antibiotics, synthetic drugs. The liver cannot take it. It cannot take it. And so now we have drug-resistant superbugs, and anybody can Google this. You don't have to take my word for any of this, by the way. You can do your own research. And you'll find two things. Number one, oh my God, we're all going to die. And it's true. By 2050, we're going to start losing 10 million global citizens a clip per year. And number two, you're going to realize the system has no answers. No answers. They have nothing. And so if you have something, you have to be very methodical and careful and confidential about how you come out to market with it. But I just say a lot of these things, they probably sound pretty dark and dramatic, and I don't mean that, Jeff. But I do want folks to understand, if you're going to invest in a technology like this that makes such grandiose claims, you should understand what's behind it. And what's behind it is like global pandemics, not vanity, not making people feel and look younger. That was not part of our agenda. That this has resonated through the system of FDA approval and scientific publication, like Lancet and the WIPO office in Geneva, World Intellectual Property Offices. That's what our organization is dealing with on legal levels, financial banking levels, obviously governmental situations. Like, these boys are not messing around. And so to have access to something like this, I want everybody to understand, please try not to compare it to anything you ever heard before.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let's kind of switch gears now that we know the background and why this technology is the only technology that works, because it's your own body doing the work. And let's talk about age reversal. You know, I know it goes way, way back. Talk about the labs that actually can determine your actual age, why that is so important in the scientific world, and then talk about the kind of money that has been spent and the results that other entities are faced with. Let's go on that.
Yeah, basically the best you got out there is stem cell therapies. They come in the form of injections, not a natural portal, by the way. If you don't believe in anything, understand that when you poke the arm, you cause inflammation, and it's not a natural portal to the body. So as far as stem cell injections, we can just start there. The fact that they're injecting it into your body in of itself is a problem. What's actually in the syringe is more of a problem. Then you have stem cell therapies where they basically take the stem cells out of your body, they put it in some sort of machine, they spin it around, they put it back into your body. Once they take the stem cells out of your body, you have removed the stem cells from its natural habitat. They're no longer yours. So who cares what they do with them? When they put them back into you, they're not yours anyway. They're not compatible. The system doesn't recognize it anymore. So that's the best the system has to offer. And that's why you have these guys putting together 30 trillion or whatever to reverse 1 year, because people who have money want to live long, come to find out. Poor people don't mind dying young. Rich people want to live forever. So that's why you have this situation that you see in the press. I don't know what else you really want me to say about it, Jeff, other than I can tell you that if that's the best the system has to offer, then I can tell you with great certainty you would be better off just eating raw, fresh, and a variety of foods the rest of your life. Cut down on the drinking and smoking, and you'll be great. I mean, you'll be great if that's the best the system has to offer. And these treatments are expensive, and that's why these people are ponying it up. They wouldn't put up these prizes and make these claims in Forbes and come out on social media and the internet and whatever, and put a value to 1 year reversal of being 30 trillion if they had answers. I mean, if you had answers, you wouldn't be putting out the bat signal like that.
Absolutely.
So for us, this is kind of like taking candy from a baby. Like, if you're going to give it $101 million, isn't I get it. It's a lot to all of us, but to the organization I represent, $101 million is a joke. To them, what's important is that we claim the prize that you publicized. Like, you made this public, and we claimed it. And when we claim it, therefore, we're allowed to come public. With the veil and the security of the fact that you boys put up a lot of money for this. And so, that's what we do. We almost kind of toy with the system. And so we've already met these gentlemen. They've already come to our headquarters. They know we're here. We're already treating them. They're on the very thing that I'm talking to everyone about. And, they're going to find out real quick. I mean, a lot of these guys are currently on treatment. They're going to find out real quick that we're not kidding. I mean, we're not kidding. Like, if you really are putting up that kind of money for 1 year age reversal, we're going to take 25 years off your life. Yeah, what are you going to say then?
Yeah, that is awesome. So I want you to talk about now what this program is really worth, and then just what the packages are, what they're getting, and why they're getting such a discounted rate for now. So, what it's really worth, and then what we'll be able to get it to them and why.
Yeah, the why is probably the best way to approach it. I would want to know that first myself if I were anybody listening. We are in the process of doing a formal study. We already have thousands and thousands of cases, but a formal study is like FDA, do 50, kind of approval thing. And so we're just putting out a preliminary kind of early, here you go, folks that we know within our network that are willing to kind of allow folks to have access to this. We have costs that we incur with this, obviously. Like we have production, like to clean the machinery, sterilize it, produce what we produce. It's all proprietary. It's all proprietary. And the process is exhaustive and it's expensive. So we are offering this as cheaply as we can pre-market. And the reason, why we're doing it is because we've always said, we will help the people with the people's help. And so if you're listening and you want this stuff, you are not required to go to any of these third-party labs and get a finger prick and get your telomeres measured. You're not required to do that in order to have access to it. I would encourage you to do it. If I was going to spend any money on something like this, I would want to see the results personally. But we would like to see your results also. We would like to have access to your results. And so that's the why, Jeff, to just put it bluntly. We've done that since the time these guys came here in 1996 and set up shop because of the intellectual property protection. They started forming alliances with, high net worth people and doctors and physicians and surgeons and specialists to use their cases and their difficult cases to free of charge. I encourage anybody to go to our website, truesciencealliance.org, go to our mission statement and read what we say. We're not shackled by finances. We're self-funded. All the studies we've done, we funded. We don't take outside money. We're not doing that. So we're self-funded in everything we've done. And now that we have formed I guess, Jeff, the best way to put it is if you are a super wealthy person, there is another level of the anti-aging technologies that I don't want to say, I guess I want to tell you that this is another version of the customized stuff because we had to manufacture it for all warm-blooded creatures regardless of their health condition. I hope everyone kind of hears me when I say that. In other words, the reason why it's even this cost is it's like the Costco model. You could buy a roll of, paper towels at your local grocer and pay $1.99 for it. You could go buy 24 rolls at Costco or what have you, Sam's, and get the same thing, and these things are like 19 cents a roll or something. We haven't built up our production yet because there's not intended to be a marketplace for this. Our mass production, our raw materials, our infrastructure is our legal team. Everybody is concentrated on antibiotics, TB, and what's coming out globally here very soon. This is a side project that popped up on us, and so we are carving out the manufacturing for it in real time. And so we hope that we can continue to make this cheaper, but it's going to depend upon kind of the manufacturing level. The folks that actually come here that are on private jets and, all these other different kind of VIP types, the reason they're getting 30-year reversals is because we're accumulating all their data. We're taking their blood work, and it's exhaustive blood work. We're taking mycotoxin serum tests. No one even has ever even heard of that. It's fungal infections that are living in your blood. And I got to tell you, most people in America have this problem. They don't even know it. We do urine tests of mycotoxins to determine the mycotoxins or the fungus that are actually your immune system is able to kill, and therefore the urine measures the dead shells. And this is very sophisticated, and it's all put into our database. Superbugs is also a urine test. And so once you do all the blood and urine that our organization requires, you've already spent $3,000, $4,000. And so, if you give us that kind of data, we're not only going to reverse your condition, we're going to take 35 years off your life cellularly. and that is a very expensive treatment. What they've done is they condense the technology to accommodate a variety of kinds of people that would have normal conditions. Say you have asthma versus someone who's ANA positive and they have an autoimmune condition, or someone that has cancer. The person that has asthma or allergies or maybe even, type 2 diabetes is going to have a better outcome with this formulation than, say, someone who has an autoimmune condition or cancer. And so you have to accommodate the masses, and in doing so, we're allowed to kind of mass produce it a little bit more, condense the cost, and pass on that kind of savings to the end user in hopes that we get people that, one, invest in their health, while at the same time accumulating data for us, our database, and scientific publications. So it's a group effort, gang. I mean, if you're interested in being part of this crazy, that's really, I don't talk to people much, especially this amount of people. If there's that many people that I think, a couple dozen folk, all I can tell you is that I've been around this a long, long time, and I've seen too many miracles, and I can't hide. I can't go anywhere. And so that, the fact that it's available, I just started, by the way. I took, and I buy this too, and I'm buying it from my mom and my dad, my brother, my friends. I'm making investments, my own people. I've been on one bottle, and I'm starting my second bottle. I'm like day 4 or 5 into my second bottle of this. So I'm not one of those that gets my finger pricked and really cares about the age prior, but I have a long history with being on these technologies, so I'm not really that great of a case anyway, or study subject. But I just want it in my system, and so I invest in me in that way. But anyway, Jeff, I don't want to ramble about, but I just wanted to kind of put a finer point on it for everybody, because I think I've said everything I know on the subject, to be honest.
Yeah, you've done a phenomenal job, Stephan. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to really explain the technology, what you've witnessed, and how impactful this is to the world, what it means to the world, and why it's not worldwide, why people don't know about it. Because, when you understand this, you do see that this is a very disruptive technology. And so once it comes out, it's obviously going to be changing, it's going to change the world. And so
Jeff,
I just kind of want to, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I hate to interrupt you. I actually recalled what you actually asked, and I can just tell you, we have 2 programs for this real quick, y'all. If you've been vaccinated, and I have plenty of people in my orbit that have been, because they had to keep their jobs and all kinds of things, that was tough on folks. But if you've been vaccinated, the super immunity program is designed to address the damages caused to the DNA, to you, reverse that, the spike protein that's now in your body. And it's going to make life really tough for you as the years go on. That is included in the program if you've been vaccinated, and then you get 2 bottles of what we're calling WBAA, whole body anti-aging. You'll see a P on the label. That means prevention. It's a technical thing in our orbit. And then you'll see an M on the other bottle. That means maintenance. Prevention. We are doing our best to address what we have found in our database to be common conditions within people, while at the same time optimizing your stem cells, optimizing them. So you might say, for example, well, you're born with an X amount of neurons, and then you die with less. We would agree. We would agree with that. We're not trying to reverse gravity. What we're saying is, what about the neurons that are currently existing in you? Can they not be optimized? Can you not turn them into X-Men? And the answer is yes. So we're doing the same thing with your stem cells. And so you get the preventative component of it, and then the maintenance is designed for people who are relatively healthy. If you're somebody that is, at Juice Land every day, and at the gym, and you yoga, and you box, and you run, and things like this, you eat well, the maintenance is really for you, and it's something you should probably take kind of routinely throughout the year but the prevention and the maintenance are designed to work together scientifically, okay, and cover a gamut of situations. And then with it, I'll just end it with this. I personally, of all the things, because I've been blessed not to be sick all these years, my testimonial is one that sounds a little ridiculous, but the cream, the stem cell cream that are included in both the programs, I've been using for about 2 months. We just did this. We've had creams before, and I've liked them. They've been great. But this level is about 200, 300% of stem cell production on your skin, and it naturally exfoliates your skin. And I don't, I'm an old dumb jock and don't really care too much, but I got to tell you, that's a weird looking image in the mirror every morning since I've been using this cream. So I have to say that. That's included in both programs. The second program is for folks who have not been vaccinated. If you have not been vaccinated, you can go right into the whole body anti-aging prevention, the whole body anti-aging maintenance, and the cream as well. And so we bundled this stuff together so that folks get a little bit of it. And by the way, the extracts, the partial extracts of the cream communicate with the partial extracts of the capsules. And they talk to one another. They have a language, and about as far as I can take it. But because my mind breaks after that for what these gentlemen have discovered about how wonderfully created we all truly are, how fearfully and wonderfully made we all truly are, and you believe what you might. But this is intelligent design. There's 100 million chemical reactions happening in us per second. And we're chemical people, and there are no solutions to anything, guys. Like, there's just nothing. They've parked the whole system in a ditch. We're helpless to the system. Your best bet is to eat well, organically, raw, fresh. Stay together, love one another. I mean, like, that's the best we got until now. Our technology is coming to market. It's coming to market in a very big way. And this just happens to be one of the, technologies that's coming out. We're being very methodical about this one for obvious reasons. So, Jeff, I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody taking time out of their, Wednesday evening to listen to me. Everyone had better things to do, I'm sure, but I hope I've been helpful, Jeff. I hope I've been useful to helping, if nothing else, folks try to understand a little bit about how your body works and the potential that's available to you.
Absolutely. You've been phenomenal, Stefan. And just to reiterate, guys, I want to let you know, if you have been vaccinated, then the package is $6,500. If you have not been vaccinated, it's $5,000. And like you said, people pay over 6 figures to do this with guarantees and specific testing for their body. We're not doing that testing with you. So somebody that's been vaccinated, you can look at being able to reverse the age as high as 5 to 10 years, even though you've been vaccinated. And so you can do the before and after test through True Diagnostics, which I'll put in an email to get out to everybody. They do a before and after test. Obviously would do the test, then you would take the formulas, and then you'll retest afterwards to document that. So this can be well documented. Like Stefan said, you don't have to, but we do strongly encourage people to document it. So you can actually see that your body has done this. And then if you have not been vaccinated, then you're obviously, doing the $5,000 formula, and you can expect anywhere from a 5 to 15 year, depending on, what's going on in your body. See, the data that we don't have is we don't know if you have pre-existing conditions, and I'm here to tell you that people don't know this either. They don't do their blood work. They have no clue what's going on. I've been doing blood work for 8 years now since I've been working with the organization, and people have things that they don't even know. You can't feel these things most of the time. And so that's the expectations. You're not going to look like you're 20 years old if you're 50, but you're going to notice things like better cognitive, sleep better, more energy. For those of you that heard Romeo talking earlier, he went from a life condition, a life or death condition, to now in his 40s having energy like, kids in their 20s. He's competing at that level, and it's just blowing his mind. And that's what I've experienced. Stefan has been on this for 20 years, so he's never had that lag like most people have. He's ahead of the curve. And so for young people doing this, they can age much, much slower. But yeah, better digestion, all kinds of things. You're going to notice, like the video that I sent you, the lady that was 68 years old, reversed her age down to 53. When she first did the test, she was 74. That means she had issues. So she was older than her birth age, but she talks about the benefits that she's experienced. And, when you look at the video, she does not look like somebody that's 68 years old. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. We are going to do a follow-up call. So if you have questions that you need to have answered, you can email them to me. Everybody's got my email. You can even text me, and we will do a follow-up call and address questions. But yeah, these programs are available right now. They just arrived, so I'm able to take orders as soon as you guys are ready to start, and just give me a call or text, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate everybody taking time out to be on this call, and have a blessed evening. Good night, everybody.
This session is no longer being recorded.